Hey guys, I'm just getting some stuff put together here, waiting for Kerbal Space Program to load. So I'm just landing my spaceship, hopefully. I can't see where I'm landing this damn thing. Oh, now I gotta look for request. Contact, request docking. There we go, there. We are being directed to pad 5. Give me a minute. I'm just trying to get everything to work. I'm pointing nose down here, so my control stabilization system, my flight control stability stuff is causing my spacecraft to wobble around a lot. And you know what? I actually need to point in this direction, so I'm going to do this. Watch this. I'm going to come over the top here. Oh, there we go. That's more like it. Zeroing out my velocity there. this is this is me flying my Anaconda. Elite Dangerous just had a little bit of a patch today. I say a little bit of a patch, it's quite a significant patch. They've done a whole lot of stuff to adjust weapon systems and things like that. Okay, so there is pad 5, and I'm going a little fast. Oh, damn, the gravity is too high on this planet. Kerbal Space Program will be coming along momentarily, but right now I've got to land this thing at an engineer. There is all sorts of interesting stuff going on at the ruins site that I need to go there and investigate some stuff. But right now I'm gonna land this, and then we can do some Kerbal and stuff like that. Okay. Oh, I've moved a little far past my landing spot. Let's just reverse. It's hard when you come straight down to get like the orientation correctly. Okay, so that's me logged in, landed and everything. Engine is shutting down, and let me adjust my desktop to get everything visible. Hello, we're not going to play Elite Dangerous. We are going to play... I'm just going to quit out to desktop now. We'll come back to that later. I do want to make a video about the new stuff in Elite Dangerous. There's a massive 100 million credit mission to do things. Elite Dangerous looks nice, but more importantly, it sounds amazing. It is probably the best sounding game there is. So I'm just going to take this hat off now because I don't need the head tracking. I also don't need this, this joystick or anything either. So I'm just going to push that to one side and say, hello everyone! How are you? Today we are gonna do some Kerbal stuff. I've been actually working on this thing last night because I thought, oh, I'll sit down, it'll be 10 minutes, I'll build this, and it'll be awesome, and I'll make a video, and I'll post it, because I haven't posted a video in like 3 days, but no, I get like really obsessed by trying to make everything work perfect and everything. So no, you're gonna get to see the debut of this thing. The debut will come. Wait a second. Where's my open broadcaster? There it is. There. Elite Dangerous in VR is no fun because you know what? I can't put the microphone close to my head. So this is still KSP 113, but that means Infernal Robotics works really well, and I have a version... Does anyone know what this is? Come on, you know what this is, don't you? I'm just going to disable the brakes on this thing, on the front, because we really need to disable these brakes, because we had issues with that. And do I use life support mods? Of course I use life support mods for Galileo. For Galileo Quest, we're using life support mods. You know what? I think I want to put a little wing into this spot here because I've been flying this and I think it needs a little more lift near the front. So I'm just going to try and find the appropriate parts to do that. Wing strake. What does that? How does that fit on? Maybe if I do it that way. Oh. Ooh, 2 of those. Maybe that. Yeah, let's try that. Let's see if I can fly that thing without destroying myself. This is essentially the Virgin Galactic kind of spacecraft. Oh, I just made a very foolish mistake. Well, okay, we'll do some testing here, and then we'll come back and we'll actually fly the mission. We have Melge Kerman. Is Melge Kerman in here? Okay, so first thing I'm going to do here is put on the brakes, and I'm just going to try and see if this thing will lift off from the runway. So, throttle down, ditch. Okay, now drop my landing gear. That may not work quite so well, so I'm going to disable the brakes and just let this thing roll forwards. Hopefully out from underneath this thing. Look at that. You know what I could do actually is lower there. I'm going to lower my wing surfaces to make sure that I can actually get through this. Oh, there. So this is practically all using stock parts. It's not 100% stock because we have some procedural wings in there and we have the Infernal Robotics parts, but everything is essentially stock. Oh, and I've rescaled a few things. Like this engine is a slightly scaled down vector engine, but actually the gimbal, I'm going to turn on gimbaling just a bit here. I'm going to see if I can take off from the runway with this. I'm going to enable pitch control on this thing. Okay, are we ready? Let's see if this thing can take off from the runway. Just, you know, obviously Spaceship 1 or Spaceship 2 isn't supposed to do that, but it has so much thrust that I can do this kind of insanity. So, okay, we're doing pretty good. We're maintaining stable flight here. There's a bit of flip, you know, a bit of wobble in these things, but that's fine. Oh, look at that. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. So we're just gonna, obviously we're gonna attempt to launch this thing in flight, right? Silent Searchlight, you turned 32 last week. Congratulations! I guess that means we're both the same star sign, so that means that we have absolutely nothing in common, because astrology is a load of BS, right? Can I combine the rotatrons? You thought it used solid fuel. You know what? Guess what? It uses a hybrid rocket, which means it's throttleable. So I'm using a regular rocket because Kerbal Space Program does not, in fact, provide that. Okay, so that's fine. I'm going to revert to the spaceplane hangar. The Nauvarg is asking about a roommate problem, and I think that you need to use electricity for that, for sure. That's all I can say. Electricity would be probably a good plan here. Okay, so I think there was a few things that I needed to tweak in this, right? I wanted to enable pitch control. This engine size. Should I make this engine just a little bit bigger? I think let's make it a little bit bigger. Just provide a little more thrust. And now I think about it, I'm going to make these just a little bit bigger as well. 1.425 because I want to get a little more thrust. I'll make it 1.5, right? There. So I'm just scaling up my engines a bit. This is because I've been having. We don't have a problem with the thrust when we are at ground level. We do have a problem with maintaining altitude, getting high enough altitude. So I think if I make these a bit bigger, we might be able to do it. So I'm just going to do this. Come on. 1.5 and 1.5. Save that. Oh, and the other thing I want to do is I want to set up an action group that I can use to trigger the thrust reversers on this. So, toggle thrust reverser. Toggle thrust reverser. That's great. So again, save that. No, I don't want to do that. I want to save that, and then I want to put a bunch of Kerbals in this. We need pilots and everything everywhere. I'll just fill this. So this thing can carry 2 crew plus 8 passengers. So the only thing is that these crew cabin parts, They weigh a ton. They weigh way too much, right? So that means that this thing has, like, it has hidden fuel tanks to make it viable. That's all. And that means the plane itself is carrying way more mass than a realistic Spaceship Two would. But it does actually work. Okay, so first thing, throttle to 100%. Nice. So this thing takes off fantastically well. You see we've got orbit, surface info. I'm just going to bring up my servo controls. And this thing rotates really early on just fine. Look at that. Let's bring the landing gear in. So we're going to go and take this out for a little while, and then we'll turn it around, and hopefully we'll be able to perform our burn to high altitude near enough that we'll be able to put it down on the runway. That's my plan. Nice, we can get this up to like 200 meters per second just fine. Let's actually steepen the climb a bit. Sodium is so soft that you can cut it with a knife. It doesn't even have to be a 1,000-degree knife, which is, yeah, whatever. 1,000-degree knife. We don't. Is there a 1,000-degree knife mod for Kerbal Space Program? That is the most ridiculous series of videos. I'm like, whatever. So yeah, I should probably say hi to everyone, right, while we're waiting. Johante, Notum, Krankenstein, Whiskey Weasel, V4 Lens, Chinaman 1191, Schmartian 123, Maybe So 83. Good morning to you all. As proven by Cody's lab, yes, yes. I'm gonna let you in a secret. I've been emailing Cody about some stuff. He might have some stuff, you know. We're not gonna meet up anytime soon, but he might do something cool. Actually related to something that was discussed last week. Oh, the alcohol this week is the seasonal release Slayer by Ninkasi Brewing, who, of course, you know Ninkasi because they also do the Ninkasi space program, whereby they launch stuff into space. Okay, so we're heading out, and at some point I'm going to turn this thing around. Cody's awesome. I like his attitude towards science. Actually, I like most of the people that do science on YouTube. I don't consider cutting things with a red-hot knife to be science. That's just, you know, rubbernecking. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, I think it's cool. I think it's cool that he's played Kerbal Space Program as well. Because some other science channels don't touch games. What is that there? Oh wow, there was something floating up in the sky there for a second, but it's gone. How about crushing with hydraulic press? Again, there is the difference between science and mucking around is writing it down, I think, right? It's science once you write it down. And, I mean, your science is a really important thing. It's very important that you understand the scientific method, especially right now when there's so many people, like, poo-pooing it because it's politically inconvenient, right? I'm gonna go right out and say this whole ridiculous Robert Kennedy Jr. vaccine probe thing is complete BS, and it is a tragedy. And even if you're a huge fan of Mr. Trump, you should, if you're a scientist, you should be way against that ridiculousness. Seriously, you know, we are a nation of smart people. We are a nation of smart people, and we should continue to be smart people. Okay, we're up to 10,000 meters, which is good. So I think at this altitude, I'm going to try and turn this around. And this is where it's going to get hard. Because I'm going to try and turn it while not losing altitude, which is apparently harder than I expected. Oh man, let's flatten out this turn just a bit. Losing altitude. Yeah, I don't know about making. I mean, oh dear. You know, the vaccine debate is a really hard thing because yes, you are gonna get people that do, individuals that do suffer from things, but you know, the rate of that is way lower than the rate of people dying from everything else. I mean, you know, at some point, you gotta make some decisions for the good of everybody else. And yeah, if you really want to stay away from vaccines, then you just keep your kids away from everyone else, right? That's my thing. Yeah, actually, there is also some medicinal stuff. The largest aircraft I've managed to get flying in Kerbal Space Program. Good question. I don't remember. I think I made my dragon snake thing. Oh dear. Seriously, like, the world needs people to be smart and honest in many, many ways. You know, in addition to science, everybody needs to take a look at yourlogicalfallacyis.com, right? People should learn how to make a good argument and how to recognize a bad argument, because there are a lot of bad arguments being made to champion, you know, bad decisions. And if you can recognize bad debating, bad arguments, and everybody could do it, and you could call people on it, you would make the world better. Because everybody does it. People make really bad, you know, illogical arguments to justify both good and bad policy, and the world should just stop it, right? Just learn logical fallacy, you know, learn all that stuff. Stop it. Anyway, we're gonna launch this thing really soon. I'm gonna hopefully get some more altitude first. I'm gonna do a bit of a zoom climb here. There we go. So I'm wondering how close I should get, because ideally I would like to land it on the runway. Oh, I should hit F5. F5 is being hit. You know, learn to listen, learn to think, learn to argue, and the world will be a better place. And, you know, just remember, most things in real life are not zero-sum games. Okay, we're almost at 11 kilometers. I think, so this one, because these passenger cabins weigh so damn much, this thing has a really hard time getting to the correct altitude. But I think at this point we're gonna quick save, and we're ready to go. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh yes! Wow! This thing fired up really fast. Uh-oh! No, 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 no! There does seem to be a little bit of instability here. No! No! I exceeded the aerodynamic limits. Damn it. Okay. The great thing is, of course, this thing will recover if I let it. Yeah, there we go. Back. It is kind of stable, but we're gonna have to F9 that. Yeah, you... Oh. Also, you know what? Advice to everyone. Learn when you've been making mistakes. Be honest. Be honest with yourself. If you make a mistake, it's cool. People will think you're a better person if you can admit when you make a mistake. Okay, uh-oh. That is not what I intended to do. Okay. Doesn't matter. Let's get this thing going skywards. Uh-oh. No, 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 no. So you know what? Part of the problem is that by putting those things on the front, I've made this thing less aerodynamically stable, and it does do this. Damn it. Oh, man. Okay. Okay, let's try this again. It was working so well earlier. You know what I'm gonna do is enable gimbal control. That should let me get through that. There, you see that? Oh! There we go. Okay, that was not the correct trajectory, but it is working for me. So there's a moment of instability there when the fuel flow is just wrong, where I exceeds the limits or whatever. Ultimately, look, we're doing it. What's our altitude? Our apoapse is going to be 50 kilometers, 60. Oh man, we only just got outside the atmosphere. That's pretty lame. Okay. Do I have separate installs of KS? Yes, I have separate installs of everything. If you let me just show you that I have like tons of different installs here. Okay, once again. Okay, let's do this. Okay, I'm just going to keep full gimbal on this because it worked so well before I adjusted the wings. And then apparently I broke it by putting the center of mass too far forwards. But now with full-on gimbal awesomeness, we can head skywards. Let's see how... Look at this accelerating like 3 Gs. 50 kilometers. 60 kilometers. 70. 80. 90. Oh, 95. We didn't get to space. The important part, though, is that we did get above the atmosphere. So we're going to do this. I'm going to turn off stability control here. Right? And when we get above the atmosphere... So the thing about Spaceship Two, or the Virgin Galactic spaceship design, is there's no reaction control system. Or at least I don't think there is. It's entirely passively stabilized. So after it gets, whatever, it goes up high enough, what it does is it adjusts the wing attitude so that it will then fall down, right? So because it has no attitude control, it could come down in any orientation. And the danger is that it could come down backwards or forwards or whatever. But I have, on this, full-on shuttlecock wings. That's right, we can feather these things. So this will basically fall down belly first, slowing it down a whole lot faster. Laserface G, I would love to play some Ares Base Machine funk lines, but I ain't gonna be doing that. I'm not a... I don't want to get my stuff... I don't want to get my channel hit with a takedown or whatever. So yeah, they do like science and research or whatever. And here's the thing, I'm coming down a long way from the space center. I hope this is I'm gonna be able to do this. Does the Spaceship Two have a reaction control systems? I haven't honestly seen that. So what I'm going to do... Uh-oh, picking up a bit of rotation here. That is not what I expected. So because we're coming down like this, we're going to bleed off speed a whole lot more quickly. That's the plan. We're not going to crash. We're totally going to fly this thing. The only thing is, I'm probably not going to make it back to the runway because I misjudged my vertical burn. So I think I'm just going to point these forwards just a bit. Oh, there, look at that. Already speed is reduced. So now I'm going to put the nose down a bit. Oh, actually getting aerodynamic control again. So now we're getting aerodynamic control. I'm going to feather these things down and start flying it like a plane again. And the only thing is, I have to guess where the 0 point is. Also, now I go slow, I can give myself more authority on my wing surface. There we go. Whoa, 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 what are you doing there? Wait a second, where's Kerbal Space Center? Oh, there it is, there. That's where I need to be going. Oh, dear, dear, dear. I don't think I'm going to be able to glide all the way back. But at least I'm in roughly the right direction. I keep looking at the chat and forgetting what way I'm going. It's a whole lot easier to fly this when you're not actually trying to read IRC at the same time. And to be fair, I would suggest that you stop texting and driving. Really bad plan. Well, I guess I'll just try and put it down on in the planes here somewhere. So let's just flatten it out to like a 15-degree descent. That should work. There we go. You know what? I might just bring this up a little. There we go. That's more like it. There, see, it's quite stable. Isn't that beautiful? Just cruising along at like 300 kilometers per hour. 400 kilometers per hour even. So other than the weird stability issues, so when I previously did it, I added these things in because I thought I needed more wing surface to be able to fly correctly. And that, of course, moved my center of lift forward and put me into an unstable regime, which meant that I had to enable the gimballing on this. So I think I need to now move everything backwards again. Yeah, so Spartan Jack, wait, liking something popular? Nothing wrong with liking something popular. There are many awesome things that are popular because they are awesome. Yeah, this definitely needs to have its center of lift move backwards a little. Man, this actually has pretty good glide slope now. Like, if I'd done that a little better, we could have definitely got closer. So my goal is to somehow get that to land back at the thing. So you know what? I'm going to F9 this and go for an even steeper climb. Why is it not working? F9. Apparently, F9 is not working. It is talking to my thing here. Hold on. Let me kill track IR, because track IR seems to be intercepting F9. There. How odd. Okay. I'm gonna enable gimbal. Okay, so I'm gonna go into a steeper climb because that I basically went too far. So if I can get it to point straight up, then my job will be done. How did I just lose my autosave? No, I didn't lose my autosave. I didn't do anything. Okay, now we're going straight up. Oh yes! This is looking good. Let's see if we can get it higher. Okay, 50 kilometers. 60 kilometers. 70. 80. 97! I get 2 kilometers higher. That's a good sign. Of course, the real spaceship, Virgin Galactic or whatever, will go even further. So Crowley X Ireland, I do like to kind of split up my long recordings if possible, but I do frequently upload them, and they'll usually be linked. If you want to see an unedited live stream, there's usually a link inside the video, the edited version, to say this is the full version of it, right? Okay, so disable this. And we're above 70 kilometers, so now bring this into the descent configuration. I love this thing. I made this years ago in Kerbal Space Program, and it was so ugly and impractical. Like, the wing surfaces were completely the wrong size and shape, and because it was Magic Smoke. I can't remember, what was it called? The robotics mod, before it was Infernal Robotics, it was something else. The joints were really flappy, and so I actually had to include quantum struts and have those things turn on and off to, like, stop the whole thing flapping around. I should make an ornithopter. I have tried an ornithopter. That way leads to madness. One of these days I may... Magic Smoke Industries... It was Magic Smoke Industries, but it wasn't Infernal Robotics, it was something else. Anyway, let's do time acceleration. So I'm just going to use physics time acceleration because that's more realistic. Let's see if we can make it back to the runway. Consigned to damnation robotics. How about sitting in limbo robotics? No? How fun would this game be if it was multiplayer? That would depend. Laserface is asking, am I an analog synth fan or am I cool with digitals, like everything? Laserface guy, I love synths that run on my phone. I've like so many synths that run on my phone and they're all like so much fun. Let's see, Technobox. Let's see if this isn't the one. Let me see if I can get one playing okay, I'm gonna get one playing before I get back to Earth, back to Kerbin. Oh, it's warning me that it may step. Okay, let's play this. There we go. This is on my iPhone. That's like a 6-part synth. It's an old app, actually. I gotta figure out what the latest one is. Now, I'm gonna start deploying this. Stability control on. So I'm gonna try and aim for the runway. So I'm pushing the nose down a bit here. Okay, now that's our speed down. So we gotta drop this back into the stowed position. 14 kilometers, and wow. We're now going to fall into a steep dive, actually. Damned robotics! Yes, it was damned robotics. Thank you, TG626, who remembers what Kerbal Space Program was once like. Okay, so now let's flatten this out. And I think I am too high here, so I'm going to do a turn in this direction. We're going to do... I'm going to turn out this way. Uh-oh. I gotta do it very carefully. I'm going to enable fine control here. So I'm going to do a bit of an S-turn away from the runway. The reason being that I'm literally too high and too close to the runway, so I need to bleed off energy before landing, right? The space shuttle would always come in high because it would need the option to bleed off, it would need to have excess energy. And then, okay, now I'm going to turn the other way. Okay. So I'm just going to do this. Let's just turn really hard. So now I think I have enough energy to get to the runway, but maybe not. It will be fun if I don't. The fun thing about gliding is there's only one chance. When I say fun, I mean this would be utterly terrifying if I had to do it in real life. But in a game, I can do that. I think damned robotics may well be an acronym for something, but I don't remember. Yeah, during descent, they would obviously look at how it was performing, and depending upon how it was performing, they would do extra S-turns, and then they would come in. They would plan to come in over the landing site, and then they could spiral down once and then land it. But the space shuttle obviously was not the greatest aircraft. You know, that's something I've always wanted to do, was build a space shuttle and then put it in a box and see if I could make the box fly better than the space shuttle. Wow, I've picked up a lot of speed here. What I'm going to do is swoop down very low and then flare really early. Because this thing is going to be going too fast if I have to land it. Okay, here we go. Starting. That's pretty good. Okay, now we're slowing down a bit better. This is where I could use some air brakes. So I'm deliberately coming in low here. I know this is not standard, but the runway is actually pretty short. Okay, gear. Get that gear down for the extra drag. Okay, now 92 meters per second. Oh. Okay, 65 meters per second looks like a good number. Touch. Okay, pretty good. And brakes. And successful touchdown of Spaceship Two. Yeah, the shuttle had a tail brake. What happened was the tail flap, or in the tailplane, would open up like in a V shape, and that would act as its air brake. And astronauts that were flying it would have to understand as soon as they applied the air brake that the spacecraft would tend to pitch nose up, and so they'd have to counteract that. I was quite impressed by that. I was quite impressed. Now, you know what I need to do, right, is I need to F9 and reload, right? And now see what happens to the carrier plane, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to launch this again. And then I'm going to command this to go up. Like in a... Oh yeah, 45 degree gimbal locked, gimbal free, 45 degree climb. Okay, now I'm just going to switch back to the carrier plane and watch it fly away. I don't care about it because I want to try landing this thing. So the good news is, it still flies. Boy, this has some really interesting side slip dynamics though. As soon as I start to turn there, like, it turns the wrong way. So anyway, we're going to try landing this. This thing wants to go like Mach 3 or whatever. Or Mach 1, sorry. Now I do have thrust reversers on this. Okay, so I'm going to try coming in from the other direction. Oh, that thing's still there. 30 kilometers away. Oh, I wonder if I can get this thing... let's see if I can get this thing down in time to get control of it. Okay, so we're going to do some very hard maneuvering here. Oh! And we get full authority on those. I did physics and astronomy back at college. That's why I know a lot of things, right? Okay, where is that thing? 70 kilometers away. I'm just wondering if I can get down and then switch to it from the runway. That's what maybe I won't go for the runway. I'm gonna just try and land next to the runway for the simple reason that it would be very nice to land somewhere. Well, it would be very nice to have somewhere for the spacecraft to land. Okay, so I'm gonna throttle this down a bit more. Actually, let's just leave this throttled up. Oh my god, look at the way this thing rolls. It like wants to do a barrel roll whenever you do an aileron roll. Okay. Let's bring the gear down. This is where it gets to be fun. Any recommendations when it comes to learning physics? Like on your own? I mean... Okay, I just want to see. Yes, thrust reversers are applied. Oh, crap. No, 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 this way. Thrust reversers. Okay, so now... Oh, Nelly. Okay, here we go. So this thing is just going to want to fly. Excellent! Okay. Then apply the brakes. Throttle down. Oh, don't you dare cartwheel. Now, if I go to map, is this thing still here? Map. Zoom, 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 zoom. There it is there. Quick. Switch to. Whoo! Okay. Oh, wow. The engine's firing again. Okay, now we better switch it to stability mode because we're now coming down fast. It was pretty good. There we go. Yeah, so landing a U2, to land the U2s, they actually had to have a chase car. It was a guy in like a Corvette or something, in a convertible. And they would run after it and basically talk the pilot down. Violent Shadow, there's so many... When you have a lot of science from a moon, there's so many options. But actually, it's better to have the science lab around other places. Okay, so now we're going to move the nose down on this. Okay. So I'm going to... Obviously, I'm going to have to aim for landing it on this. And then I'm actually going to disable the gimbal on this, as suggested by Silent Searchlight. Okay. Thank you, Silent Searchlight, for being a mod. I know that it's a thankless job, so it's I'm going to thank you for it. Because it's a thankless job. Okay. Let's flatten this a bit more. Okay, now we're flying again. I'm so happy that I was able to do that. That was stunning. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm wondering, yeah, they still occasionally fly U2s. And obviously there's still that whole band called U2. You know, pretty good band. I mean, obviously the Joshua Tree and Achtung Baby are two of the greatest albums ever recorded. I was thinking about, you know, what albums, Desert Island Discs or whatever. Okay. Oh, Silent Searchlight is correcting me on the order of events. But Silent Searchlight's being a hero regardless, so I'm just going to say thanks! So... hopefully I can find a place to land this thing safely. Because none of this stuff looks particularly safe, if you ask me. The U2 is inferior to the SR-71 because, let's face it, there are very few things that are superior to the SR-71 because it is so insane in so many ways. Seriously, SR-71 is awesome, but people actually forget the SR-71 is actually part of a family of 3 different aircraft that were built around pretty much the same airframe. There actually was like an interceptor that was based on a very similar design, but never really deployed. But the SR-71 was just like the most amazing plane ever. Sure, there are planes that can fly faster, there are planes that can fly higher, but there is no plane that can fly as high, as fast, and as long. Well, there is probably a submarine called the U2 as well, but because the German U-boats basically had U designations. Unterwasser or whatever boat, right? Okay, I'm gonna flatten this out and get down on the ground before I hit these hills. Okay! Oh, no. I thought I'd made a clean landing there. 47 meters per second. Okay, I'm gonna just hit the brakes now. I am quite impressed that I was able to do that. I'm just gonna say I am very happy with that result there. I don't know how I can follow that up now. I mean, I guess I can go back to the base and fix this. Let's go back to the Space Center and recover everything. No, but the space shuttle can orbit longer, but it's not flying. Right? Because as soon as it starts flying, it's on a glide descent, whereas the SR-71 can keep flying for hours at a time in the atmosphere. Unfortunately, we've hit this particular bug. Thank you, the Raging Irishman has informed me that there were in fact 4 submarines given the designation U2 between 1908 and 1966. Okay, let's take a look at this thing. I should just leave those guys out there, right? I like this, but... Okay, so how do I make this better? Obviously, I need to move this wing backwards just a bit. We've got enough wing surface, but we just need to move it backwards. So first thing I do is I grab this and slide it back about that far. Pardon the belching. That's what beer does sometimes. Okay. And that one. Okay. Maybe that'll make it more stable. Okay, now I gotta fly one more time. I mean, basically, the thing about the SR-71 was that it was kind of rendered obsolete by satellites. And that's just something that you're never, you can't really avoid. Oh, I like how we've got phasing going on between the 2 engine samples. Yeah, I would do that as a DJ every now and then. You would put on 2 copies of the same record. Wow! This thing really wants to go up. I should probably fix that. Oh, you know what? I apparently do not have the relevant crew members. Wait, that's a pilot. Wait, what the heck? Why is my stability control not working? That seems very odd. Can anyone figure out why my SAS is refusing to enable? Because this is kind of frustrating. I'm wondering if there's like some weird physics that's propagating between these two entities in space. What the heck here? Oh, get your nose down! The pitch is all the way up. I'm gonna press Control X to cancel my pitch. No, it just... There's a strange... Oh, I'm pressing Alt X to cancel pitch, but it is not doing anything. Okay. So you know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take these authority limiter and turn it way the heck down. And then we're just gonna go for it. Oh, okay. Why is this not firing? I have fuel in here. I think the game is crashing, basically. Infinite propellant doesn't actually work either. That is great. Let's go and see what's going on down here. Let's take a look. Oh, and now I can't switch to the other one. Yeah, game is breaking. Oh, there it is, there. Oh, that's good. I wonder what happened, how fast this thing goes if I put it in Oh! Oh, that's interesting. There's some mech jeb thing going on, I think. I think mech jeb is doing something crazy because it's like throttling me down. I'm gonna shut my engines off. I have no idea what was going on there. Let's revert to launch one more time. Silent Searchlight. I believe it was the British that managed to achieve missile lock on an SR-71 using a lightning in a zoom climb maneuver. I could be wrong. Or oh wait, no. That was in an exercise where they managed to lock and achieve a simulated kill on a U-2 using a zoom climb in a lightning. Okay, this is stable. I have no idea what was going on there, but Mech Jeb, I think, was doing something crazy. There's a surface-to-air missile simulator that's, like, put together by this guy in Hungary. Like, and it's an insanely detailed and strange and quirky piece of software, which I should really play one of these days. It, suits me in so many ways. Yeah, well, the SR-71 can outrun a lot of things. Ah, man. Oh, okay, so apparently the Kingdom of Sweden achieved missile lock, air-to-air missile lock with a Saab JA-37 Viggen. That was the plane that I always thought it looked cool because it had canards. Okay. I'm just gonna turn this thing around again. Right, to achieve a hit required the correct engagement aspect because most missiles just wouldn't have the endurance to catch it from behind. It would have to come from a... Essentially, the firing solutions were very, very limited. Oh my god, people are fighting over whether the Gripen was better than the Vegan. I don't know, I like vegans sometimes. Just as long as they're not griping about their vegan... That's a terrible joke, forget that. Okay. Okay, let's flatten this thing out. I'm just gonna try this from this altitude just to see if the thing is stable. It's gone all wobbly again! Are we ready? Okay, so I've now disabled the thrust vectoring, and I want to see if it maintains stability. I think that is much better. Notice how the velocity vector is much closer to the pointing vector, so I've balanced the thing out and it's not basically power sliding into the sky. Which is a good sign. Oh yeah, there's the Draken as well. Uh-huh. Oh wait, I've got infinite fuel on. Pfft. I was gonna say, oh, this is looking so much better. Of course it's looking so much better. It's gonna make it into space. Revert flight to launch. One more time. Which biplane is the only biplane in history to ever score a dogfight kill against a jet fighter? I do not know that. That I really would love to know. But I'll tell you what, I'm sure I could do it in Kerbal Space Program. I can't remember. I saw an SR-71 near Salt Lake City. I can't remember the name. Oh, it's Hill Air Force Base. And yeah, they have a great free museum there. But yeah, I don't know. Biplane. I think biplanes have sort of fallen out of favor largely because of their stealth capabilities. I mean, with those wings apart, then you're going to get some very coherent echoes. Yeah, when I was in... last year when we were on vacation skiing, right? We were in Idaho, and there's an airport there, Driggs Airport, where they have a bunch of stuff on display in the restaurant, which is actually a pretty decent restaurant. I mean, it's middle American food, but it's tasty enough. But they have Snoopy outside as a statue. There's a statue of Snoopy on his kennel dressed up as the Red Baron or whatever his name is. And it was so awesome. Uh-huh. And apparently, anyway, the Hill Air Force Base SR-71 is an SR-71C, which was apparently two different planes welded together. And it, jokingly, supposedly never flew quite as straight as the other ones. Silent Searchlight, have you played Rise of Flight? Rise of Flight, I love that game. I am so bad at it, but I just love poodling around in planes and trying to do any maneuvers and then falling out of the sky because these things are just like bicycles with wings. I'm going to point out, I still haven't got any flying lessons. I've been trying to get time to organize that kind of thing. Okay. Well, let's see if this thing will fly better now. Okay. I bought a bunch of copies of Rise of Flight when it was in some Indie Gala sale, and they had this thing where it's like if you bought it and then you bought extra copies, then you got like more and more copies. So I ended up with like 20 copies of the game that I just gave away to random people, and it came with the base game plus a bunch of aircraft. And I believe that you can get Rise of Flight with just like a couple of aircraft for free. It's a lot of fun. It's, you know, worth messing with. And one of these days, I do want to get around to playing DCS, especially since I've actually bought the P-51 Mustang. I'm forgetting on DCS, and I've never actually flown it. Okay, we're getting up to our altitude again. I'm just gonna hold this and see how high we get. I'm hoping that I can get to 100 kilometers. Here we go. So, just, by the way, so these passenger cabins are way too heavy. I mentioned this. So this is heavy, this is all heavy, this is way heavier than the real thing. So to actually give this enough fuel, I have secret fuel tanks hidden inside this. It's cheating, but I wanted it to look roughly right and carry the right number of people. But it does mean that the carrier aircraft really struggles to carry it up to altitude. Okay, we're at 11 kilometers. We're just about to get out. I'm going to cut my authority limiter down to 16%. Okay. And I'm going to enable gimbal off about 30%, and I'm going to launch. Okay. I like how that thing immediately turns to the side. Okay. Uh-oh, I can feel this thing wanting to pull away from me here. Just wants to go up if I touch it, but it feels more stable than it was. I just want to see if I can get up to like 100 kilometers. This 800 meters per second. 900. 1000. Ah, 98. Damn it! It just needs a. If I could get a couple of extra kilometers out of that carrier plane, it would be fine. Still, I was quite impressed by how well this thing works. I'm just going to say that. I am actually flying out to sea, though. That's the only thing. Okay, there we go. So actually, what we should do is see whether it can pull out of the dive. If I don't put it into the shuttlecock formation, will it go down? No, I actually already cut most of the fuel out of the thing. Yeah, but to get to correct space altitude, I want it to go over 100 kilometers, right? I don't remember what combination of graphics mods I have. This is just what I've settled on, so it's probably stock visual enhancements plus some other things like that. Middle American? Middle American means middle of America. It means not the coasts. It means the states in the middle of the country. I could map the gimbal to that, sure. Okay, let's see what happens. I want to see if this thing is controllable if it hits the atmosphere. I still have I deliberately limit this so that they wouldn't get damaged, right? So we're now going downwards at 1 kilometer per second. Ooh, it's getting hot. It's getting hot. It's getting hot. Okay, I'm trying to get some. Oh wow, I'm actually getting some control authority here. Wow, look at those G-forces! Holy moly! That is not good on the airframe, though. Okay, I better pull out of this dive soon. But hey, this thing totally is able to pull out of the dive, but man, that did not feel like it was good for the aircraft in any way or shape or form. Oh, there's all sorts of amazing stuff all over America. Let's like not shortchange anything. It's just we have there's the coasts are very different, right? I mean, even there's a huge difference between coastal California and inland California as well. Oh, it's in Kalamazoo, is it? That's funny. So I know a lot of people from Kalamazoo because before we were acquired, before Topsy was acquired, we had a network operations center in Kalamazoo, Michigan. So I learned all about Kalamazoo. Never went there, but I know a lot of people that came from there and ran the net ops, and then they're now working at Apple instead. Oh, incidentally, by the way, you may have heard, but I'm now officially a US citizen. Last Thursday, I went to a big ceremony with. Oh, wow. Oh, yes. I officially am now. I've now, declared my intent to protect the Constitution from enemies outside and within and all these other things like that. Okay, I want to play some Elite for a little while. So hold on a second. I'm gonna make a point of resetting my thing, right? Because people always complain. I want to play some Elite Dangerous. Update information, and we're gonna bring this up. Play.